Welcome, welcome, welcome to Live Your Legacy, a global pop up live streaming series that brings together voices of resilience, purpose, and transformation. My name is Patricia D. Fordenberg, aka Patty from New York. And today, let me start with I am a certified grief consultant, and we have the show Live Your Legacy. And each episode features a special guest whose story illuminates what means truly to live, not just surviving. And this show airs as a pop-up series, flexible, global, and always live, because legacy doesn't wait for a convenient time slot. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a conversation that could change your life. So I thank you for that. And for those of you who may be meeting for the first time, wait. We're gonna invite our special guest. I'm just really excited about it. So we're gonna invite our special guest, Lois Villa. And for those of you who are maybe meeting you for the first time, okay, Lois, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and the work you do and what your calling is in this world? Lois Villa, thank you for being part of the show. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Patty, it's such a pleasure to be here. My soul sister, my travel companion, frick to my frack. I am a retired dental assistant who worked for the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. And I spent 33 years, I retired after 33 years working in the mental health field as a dental assistant, knowing physically I couldn't do that work anymore, wanting to take what I've learned about mental health outside of that and into a new journey. My own journey of anxiety kind of led me to, wanting to move in a different direction. And I started with sound healing. Those are things, integrative medicine and modalities. Those are things that helped quiet my mind. And then we had this thing called Clubhouse happen. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But mostly I'm a mental wellness guide. I know what my own struggle with my anxiety, how I worked through it. I like to have support community. And that's where I kind of want to shift my focus now, is helping others realize and help them heal their own mental health challenges.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. We did meet on Clubhouse, and that was an honor. And it's been going on, how many years would you say? 5?
5. Yeah, for us. Some people are coming up in April on 6. So
good. And let's do a little plug in for the Clubhouse, world. Again, if you click this barcode here at the top right corner, that little barcode, if you are happening to watch this on a mobile, a tablet, on a tablet or laptop, you grab your phone and get that barcode and go to Clubhouse. You'll see the EverMindful below the show. You're going to see EverMindful. And if you click that link, you could also go here, evermindfullive.com. You can join the Clubhouse house with EverMindful, and it's a live interaction. You want to tell us a little bit more about that beautiful space, Lois?
Yeah.
Because this is where we met. And we wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for that.
Absolutely. It's the heart of what I do now. And it's when I came into the app, it came in 2021 in January at the end, much like everybody looking for a space to connect to people because we all felt so disconnected, right? Clubhouse provided an amazing opportunity and space for me to bring some like sound healing. I came with bowls, like sound healing bowls, like, right? And I opened up a room for people to get a little meditation, maybe relax their mind during such a chaotic, crazy time that we live through. And I thought I could, provide some kind of respite. And so I opened a few rooms, sat alone a lot, played my bowls a lot, but then slowly, and really slowly, AKA rapidly, we call it Clubhouse time in the beginning. You came in and you got sucked into that vortex of community and caring and people connecting and liking and being in kind with each other and aligning. And you felt like 1 week was 1 year, right? So in 2 weeks of being on the app, I had met a core group of amazing ladies. We had formed like this group then 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, we created it to be called EverMindful. And we just started formulating as a space where people could come in and feel supported, find some mental health guidance, talk about the struggles we were all dealing with at that time. It really provided us a community that cared. And that's what Clubhouse continues to be for me, a place where it fosters authentic connections, community that cares about each other and wants to connect in real life as well.
And we did, and we certainly did. And again, check out the barcode or go to this link right here, evermindfullive.com, and be part of this experience, because it is a beautiful experience. Could you tell us a little bit more about the holistic approach
Yeah,
before we
I
get into
will.
some more questions?
Absolutely. And that kind of runs into the in real life event, right? So after years of meeting here from all over the country, all over the world, Australia, Canada, the Philippines, I had my moderators, Cindy, Michelle, Justina, Alma, Revlin, all come in from all over the world and connect, right? Then I was like, I need to move this to some outside venue where it can be more accessible to people, where they could come for a day, where I didn't have to maybe be hosting constantly, right? I could have it and I could create a day of wellness, mental health and wellness. And just like you said, Patty, I decided to call it an experience, because really it is. It's getting together. A lot of us were from Clubhouse. I utilized Clubhouse knowledge, the experts that had been speaking in rooms on Clubhouse, and I knew their stuff, like you with the grief recovery, and Carmel with, her diet and nutrition, and her sister Kathy with, her battle with depression, and Kim with her energy work and her aromatherapy. Bringing it all in together, speakers together, to give us little bite-sized samplings of information, come together for a meal, right? Really connect as a community. And then in the afternoon, have a day of wellness where you can maybe get a little Reiki, or you can visit some vendor booths, or connect together as a community and share some space. Buy a few fun trinkets and maybe a little bit of Simply Mindful essential oil that we've created, a special for the event. So those are things that create an experience. And when Patty and I get together, when Patty goes on her grief recovery through Legacy and Miss You Graham and her Patty's House, and opens things about grief, you can be grieving a lot of different ways, and people come in just because it says grief, because they feel, oh, I've got somewhere I can talk about how I'm feeling. I'm going to listen in to what Patty's saying. She's a grief counselor. Let me hear what she has to say. Maybe I can come up and talk and get some things off of my chest. This is what all of the rooms in Clubhouse provide for us, a space where that then in turn gives us an opportunity to know that we have a support system at the touch of our fingertips. And that is what will help us not just survive, but thrive.
That's good. And by the way, I approve this message, but I did not pay for this message.
No, but that's what we do in Clubhouse. We support each other. We
Yep.
go to each other's rooms, some of us. We go and make sure that we bring our communities along to share spaces that we found beneficial. That's
right.
what I love about Clubhouse. It fosters that community. Go ahead.
And also your Ever Mindful event. Let's just go back there for a minute. Besides the holistic approach and the experience, I found that relationships were forged. Could you speak a little bit more onto that?
I will 110,000% speak on that, because right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I've got a house guest, right? She came this weekend. We met in person at the IRL last year, Tina. She met with Jamil, who came with his mother, right? He was up doing he's a director and he was in some productions. Patty, like, we formed a community, and now we hear in the rooms that Jamil has a new production he's directed, The Mountaintop. It's going to be in Connecticut.
Wow.
Tina goes, I think I want to come. You know, she says, I think I have 3 days off I'm going to take from work. And she flies in and she spends 2 nights here just having fun, going to see Jamil, you know, really supporting his efforts. And then we went out to have a beautiful evening, early dinner, and just discuss the whole play and create a community. Real connections, Patty. Real relationships, not some like heart, I follow you, oh, I've got 1 million followers. These are connections that are being made in real time, lasting relationships that you can depend on for support in your life.
Showing up for each other
Showing up for
relationships.
each other.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, I have another question up my sleeve.
Oh, I
What
bet you do.
what is something about your journey that most people would be surprised to learn? Lois, take your time, take a minute, but we're excited to hear your answer.
Well, I've got two answers. One is going to be a funny one, Patty. That sometimes I'm quiet. That's surprising, isn't it? Sometimes this loud, booming voice goes into her hole where she's quiet and needs to get away from things. Um, I deal with my own anxiety issues. I used to have debilitating anxiety, meaning it was situational. It wasn't like an everyday for months on end, I couldn't get out of bed kind of thing, like some serious depression, but really an anxiety where I couldn't regulate. I wasn't in balance. My cortisol levels were through the roof. I was having anxiety attacks where I would actually lose consciousness because things so much was going on in my life. I had to figure out a way to cope. That was something I brought on from a childhood of upheaval and great times and scary times, and you know, a lot of just
So
disruption.
could I interject there for a
Yeah,
second? There's a couple of things I would love to reflect on, but
sure.
how would Lois, get to her quiet? What
Mm,
can you share? Maybe some tricks of the trade,
that's a
some
great.
tactics that worked for you, and it
Yeah.
may just work for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the very first thing that I ever did. And I think it's the easiest thing for people to implement. The very first thing I did was find a quick 15-minute guided meditation of a voice that I resonated with. Or if you don't resonate with guided speaking and you just want music, find something like that, white noise, a certain frequency. But I love a guided meditation because it allows my brain to come off of my continual thought process. So I found two or three that I really loved, and then at night, before I would go to bed, I would listen to them through a Bluetooth eye mask that I just purchased. And it was soft, you could sleep with it. The speakers were inside the puffy, fabric, so it didn't hurt your ears. And I would go to bed to this messaging. And believe it or not, if you increase it, then your mind hears that even while you're sleeping. And if it's positive messages and reframing your thought process, it can benefit from you immensely. And it doesn't take any time out of your day because you're going to sleep.
Beautiful.
Right?
And just to add a little to that,
Yeah.
Dr. Nick Hall, who's a neuroimmunologist, speaks on such things in his book, I Know What to Do, So Why Don't I Do It? I just want to put that out to the
Oh,
world.
I
But Lois,
love that.
yeah, but
We might
Lois,
have to do
you're
that in
onto something.
Clubhouse.
Yeah,
We might
and
have
that
to do
brings
it.
me to my other question. Well, I have a parlay question here,
Yeah.
and the first question is that when you got into your sound healing? Because now you are a giver. You treated yourself,
Hmm.
right, and now you do the sound healing. Did that have anything to do with this new mental break?
Yeah,
The giving yourself self love. Is that when? I'm just curious. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
I can. I'm glad you asked that because I developed an appreciation for sound healing when I was at work because the hospital at the time was encouraging teams of people within the hospital to come and do a lunch, where you could get it in on your lunch, right? And you could bring in sound healing and
Nice.
meditation for a short amount of time. And so if you came to that focused point, I realized how much it helped me. And I was like, oh my God, this is like medicine. This is medicine for me, my
The
brain.
aha
So
moments, they're the
the aha
best.
moment going, this is helping me calm that continual and disrupt that continual thought process of projecting into the future or thinking about the past, right? So when I got that little taste of it, that sample, I was hooked. And then I started understanding sound frequency. I froze for some reason and I don't know why, but that's
It's
okay.
okay. We hear
I
you. That's
understand sound
we hear you.
frequency. Hmm. So, and then I started learning more about my bowls, and I'd buy one bowl here and there and play a little bit. All of my bowls are different sized, and some of them I got as
You got your
gifts.
sound toys.
I do. I have all my sound toys around me, and it really
Great.
does feed my soul. And I think I said, if this vibrational sound healing can do this for me, I'm sure it can do something over the airwaves as well.
Well, you've done it for me. I mean, I've participated live at your event. That was really, I was like, don't, why are you waking me up? Like, I actually went into this, like, awakened sleep, right?
Oh,
It's
I
like
love
that.
that.
That's like the best state. It's like you're aware that you're awake, but at the same time, you're like totally in another world, And it
Timeless.
was, yes, and it was so healing. So it was sound healing.
Right.
So thank you. And I've done it in your rooms
And
too.
I don't do the healing. Your own body does the healing. I'm not a healer. We heal ourselves, right?
Yeah,
We heal
yeah,
ourselves with many tools for our toolkit. And the more tools we put in, the better the building is going to be.
yeah.
Mind, body, spirit connection. You must feed all three of those in order to have a balanced human.
So important, so important. And you're like a conduit though, like you're like the plug. You're the plug to get the
I
energy
love
we
to be a
need.
plug. Yay.
So there's a couple more things. You answered the question. You said you had a two-part answer. So you answered the getting quiet part. Did
Yep.
you lose the bubble on the
No, I
other?
think my
Okay.
second part was people would be surprised to know that I've dealt in my life with some very serious mental health struggles of my own. And that just because I'm sitting here behind a microphone and playing you sound healing and giving you a guided meditation and some tools doesn't mean I'm the highest guru there ever was in the world. We do our
Mhm.
own enlightenment and we heal our own self. And what people sometimes fail to realize is no matter who you're talking about in this world, they're human at their core. And there's been stuff over time that has covered up sometimes their humanness or their light, and they're stuck
Right.
in that cyclic of darkness. We can be the light for people. We can shine the light for people onto the world, and that, I believe, Patty, is what you do. I believe that that's what EverMindful does. I believe that this community that we've connected with helps each other. I believe that's our true purpose, is allowing people to find the light inside themselves, to shine their own genius. And when people find that, what sparks them, that is the best thing ever. Because when
Mm.
I could come onto Clubhouse and be like a DJ, like something I had
And you
always
are.
wanted to be my whole life, and then add spirituality, fun, mindfulness, learning, all of that together, I was like,
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, what's great about those rooms too, and again, let's put the ticket up here so we could see it. If you join that clubhouse room, or I encourage you to go to the live event. The live event is really a place where you will forge great relationships as well, especially in this space. Lois, you teach a lot too, though, through your readings. You read
Yeah.
with the community, and that's really beautiful. What are you reading now?
I love that you asked me that question. We actually are reading in Transformational Tuesday. Every Tuesday, funny Patty puts that in there. Every Tuesday we meet in EverMindful at 6:30 a.m., what we call Transformational Tuesday, where we read a different self-development book, like something that is feeds our mind, body, spirit, that we can start learning and growing together. And it just so happens that we just are in the middle of reading, just begun the first few chapters of Jim Quick's Limitless.
Mm-hmm.
Patty and I got to fly to Chicago for Creative Con, Julie Loken and Dominic Domansky's Creative Con. That is an amazing event of learning as well. And Jim Quick was the keynote speaker. Training our brain, talking about neuroplasticity, talking about retraining our thought process, how we can learn better. Those are all things that tie into what we do on Transformational Tuesday when we delve into an open read where myself or someone else who can help me will pick readings, and we'll start reading, and then we'll pause and we'll have some discussion. Let us like maybe talk about what we've heard and maybe discuss different ideas. There's workbooks that you can get with it that you can journal along with us. We take moments where people, grab a notebook, you might want to write this down, that kind of thing. Grab the book, buy it from a bookstore near you, and join us in the discussion, because I'm always looking for people who want to read aloud. And that's the best way I learn, is by reading aloud and sharing in a discussion. That's how I learn.
Well, you just said this, but I just want to recap on it, that you stay on point with the book. You don't let the conversation get outside of the book.
Right.
You
That's
always
important.
make sure it's, whatever like chapter, or verse you just read. And then, any comments, any concerns, any questions. Sometimes there's a word we don't understand and somebody might know what that word means. And it's this collective unity in these spaces. But then, just when to say, okay, come back in. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. And yes, I got to be part of that. And that was great. Also, I finished the book because I was doing my speech.
I know, she's such a super achiever. Patty's finished the book. Now she better start coming back in and reading from it.
But I'm not reading it to an audience, so that's different.
Yes, you can.
But I'm saying, I was doing it on a speed on my Audible book. So
right, you're on Audible.
But you're gonna be really happy, and I found out what animal I am. But you'll have to talk about that.
Too.
Okay,
I did too. I'll share mine. You want to share yours? What animal?
I'm a dolphin. I'm a dolphin.
I'm an elephant.
Oh, okay.
I'm an elephant.
Yeah, and he says we could be, now this again, what are we talking about, people? We're talking about in Jim Quick's book at the end. It's like one of the last chapters. If it's not the last chapter, I'm going by memory, so excuse me for a minute. But there is a concept of, he says, personality types, and you could be a little bit of all, but you're mainly one. So when we're saying our animals, I could be a little elephant, I could be a little, eagle, but my main one, because he has a test that you take, and you have to answer the quiz, right?
I love that.
Were you surprised you were an elephant?
I wasn't surprised I was an elephant once the description came out. I thought I was going to be a water animal. I was a little disappointed I wasn't a water or a horse, because horses are my favorite. But when I read the description of elephant, I think I am an elephant. But I did in the quiz found it difficult sometimes to choose between two answers. Patty, did you find that too?
I did. And then I had to
go
go
back and forth.
Yes. Yeah. And I was never good at multiple choice, so maybe it's my ADD. And going back to mental health.
We'll talk off in class.
Yeah. And going back to mental health, and I'm totally doing a sidebar here, but this is my ADD, which is my superpower. But nonetheless, when you were sharing vulnerably, and thank you for the higher of good about what you went through, you did say, well, it wasn't serious, but it was serious enough, right? I just want to touch on that because even if serious, me and Lois are not medical doctors. I could say that because I know her well. I'm not a medical doctor.
Not.
I'm a consultant, so I give advice in the grievance and legacy forum, right? From either research or experience or testimony, which are my favorite actually. But going back to the mental wellness, there might be somebody listening to this that's really at that level of serious. First of all, go seek a doctor because they're equipped to really be very careful to help you. That's number one. But number two, it's okay because you're human. Nobody's exempt from life. And even if you're the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, life happens. And sometimes, the way we're wired up, we get in our own way, and then we have a hard time getting out of our way. And there's a stigma around having anxiety or depression, or, like, I don't want to even talk about it, but the bottom
Well,
line,
it's a
suicidal
fact.
thoughts.
You
Yeah,
have to talk about things
right.
like that.
Yeah.
That's
It could be
part of the
triggering.
stigma, right?
Yes, it could be triggering, and I understand triggers. I do. I really, really do. But we also need to have the conversations,
Right.
so we could help each other. And go ahead, Lois, talk a little
I
bit
was
more
going to
into that.
say you have to deal with the what is, right? And when I say, like, probably I tend to downplay it in my own life because I've worked in mental health and seen the absolute break of mental illness where there's a complete break of reality, delusions, seeing and hearing voices. I've dealt with patients that have done some horrific things, right? To, depression and, you know, anxiety and feelings of unease, right? You do have that spectrum, right? And some people deal with mental health struggles for much longer periods of time, or they go through a lot of cycles that are longer or shorter. I just want to say there are always places, and never think that you're alone. There's, even when you're just feeling uneasy about that. I always have this thing where I say it's a feeling of dread sometimes I get, and it's kind of your inner clock saying something's not right, or that's all part of the process of getting out of our monkey minds, right? And our main goal is to live in the present moment. That is my main goal in functioning as a human, so that I can be at peace with myself on a daily basis and go through life living in gratitude and love. And in order to do that, you have to heal from within, and we have to heal whatever spectrum we're on in that, right? Whatever tools we can use. So I just want people to recognize you can be up here in one day and also be profoundly better the next, and vice versa. We just have to be there and work on ourselves through the process.
And in your rooms, you're just bringing to mind things that you've done in your EverMindful spaces when maybe a conversation is bringing anxiety because somebody's being triggered, and we all want to help each other, and we're kind of like, oh, what do we do now? Lois is like, stop and breathe. And you do the breathing exercises, and there's a lot to be said about that.
Back. Let's just focus. Sometimes we get, Patty knows, sometimes you get a room where the flow is really good and people are really sharing, and then you get some jamoke who thinks he's going to come in and mess up the whole thing, right? Some troll. Well, Patty and I, we know how to deal with trolls. You get the hell out of here, troll.
I love those buttons. You're out of here.
We'll use our moderation skills.
It's almost like the Gong Show. You're out of here.
Boing. Oh, the Gong Show. You're out of here.
Go.
Right? So we and then part of doing that and having that skill is also being able to refocus your group and saying, let's get back to, Patty is great at that. Let's get back to where we were, because we were all in such a great space. So let's all take this breath, or let's all go back to this recording and rewind and hear what Esther Hicks is saying, or Wayne Dyer, and let's rewind and get back to our space. Excellent at doing that.
So as we wrap it up, we're coming up to the end of the show.
What a great show.
Right. Thank you for premiering here on this first episode.
You're an amazing interviewer.
Oh, thank you so much. And back to you, watching a lot of Barbara Walters, maybe. I don't know. Or Good Morning America. Who knows?
We're going to show our age.
Or maybe just a lot of clubhousing.
That's why they call me Mama Lo. See all the gray hair? Mama Lo's in the house.
Well, you are platinum. There's something to be said about platinum. You can't get better than that.
I love that.
If your life were a message to the world, what would you hope that message says? Hold that thought. For a minute, hold that thought. I want to go here and show our viewers this beautiful banner created by Lois and her team. Again, check out this link, EverMindfulLive.com.
Give it a shout out to Shauna for that one.
Go ahead.
that I'm giving a shout out quick. Julie Loken started that, giving me that graphic of the two girls like looking at each other. And
Yeah.
then Shauna helped me create the rest of it with the colors change, and it's kind of revamped for this year. Super fresh. I love it.
Well, since you're so passionate about it, I know you shared with me. Would you like to share with the world that graphic? It's not just any graphic. It's very intentional, Lois.
Mm.
Would you like to share that
I
intention,
will.
or are you
Yeah.
gonna leave us with a cliffhanger? Okay,
I'm
great.
gonna share. I'll share a little bit. The
Okay, great.
logo. This is a style of the offshoot of the regular logo that we have, that Alma, who's from the Philippines, one of our moderators, created. And if you go in EverMindful, you'll see that the EverMindful house, what the logo actually is. But this is a silhouette of me as a girl, right? And we're always looking at ourselves, a reflection of ourselves, our children, how we were brought up and raised, and how we morph. I mean, this is if you want to put the camera back on for a second, Patty, I happen to be in front of a little picture of me when I was a little girl. And if you look back at the camera, I'll hold it up real quick. That's the Lois that I do things for. That Lois in that picture was a girl that had a lot of disruption in her childhood and fought with anxiety even then, trying to fix everybody's situation. I don't do that anymore. I'm almost 60 years old and I'm like, I don't fix other people. I fix me now, right? I need to fix me because I need a lot of work, and we all learn and grow together. I think that that's part of this whole experience.
That's
Is
right.
us being together. And that is the main thing that I take away. That is my mother's legacy. My mother worked in a mental health hospital as a nurse for her whole career. And my father worked in the same hospital that I worked in years later after he retired from a disability. He was a psychiatric aide. So it's been in my family. I could tell you mental health stories that you would think were
Yeah.
funny and tragic at the same time, but it's been in my life and my blood since I was a child. So I've had it in my family with an uncle, my father's brother, who struggled with mental illness and lived with my mother for a long time. So it's been in my family a long time. And I'm
And
not talking about it
you're
anymore because
compassionate.
I'm going to start crying.
No, but it's not that. For what I'm hearing, Lois, is more than okay. You've seen it, you've been around it. What I gather here is maybe what is not said. Your compassion is felt through your sound healing, through your gatherings, through your reading to people. Through teaching people, take a breath, come back to the present. That's what I'm feeling here in this message. It's beyond the I've seen it. It's been around me. You're again being a conduit for the greater of good, and I appreciate that. I'm going to go back to this question.
I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
say, go back
go
to
ahead.
your question.
Okay.
That's
If you were to,
Yep.
if your life were a message to the world, what would you hope that message says? And I know this is a hard question because we probably have a lot, but go ahead.
It's okay. And I'm going to be really succinct. I'm going to put it into phrases. I'm going to mention the Obamas because I always do, because they are a guiding light for me about what it means to create community and unity. So my main message is in phrases. Be of service, look for the helpers, create community, be authentic, lead with love, be non-judgmental, add forgiveness in, and heal thyself.
Beautiful.
Be the light. Be the light.
Be the light.
That's our main theme song that just popped into my head. Thank you.
Don't forget that one.
Song. Yep. Be the Light is our theme song by Pam Taylor. She's an amazing artist. She created the song. We met her on Clubhouse. I asked her years ago, can we borrow it until I can pay you to use it? And she said yes. So Be the Light by Pam Taylor. Check it out on YouTube. It's our theme song on EverMindful, and it really talks about being the light unto ourselves so that we can be the light for others.
Beautiful, beautiful. Again, thank you, Lois, for being here on this premiere show. Would love to say to everybody, follow us, share the good news. You see what Lois is doing. Again, here is the flyer for the EverMindful event. Again, check it out. Check it out. Here is one more time. EverMindful Live. So there's 2 L's.
That's correct.
EverMindfulLive.com.
Good
And
point out.
right? And either
Yep.
join the clubhouse and see what we're talking about, or join the event. And could you talk a little bit more? It's not just coming to the event. If you can't make it to the event, you could gift a ticket, a sponsor. And I know we're going a little bit over time, but I think it's important to, share with the world. So
I'm going to share there, part of the experience that we're creating for you will be some vendors there, right? So if you've got an interesting product and you'd like to be a vendor, let me know. Sponsor, if you have a company who's a wellness based company, mental health, diet, nutrition, overall mind, body, spirit, any business that ties into that. If you'd like to be a sponsor, we have levels of sponsorship. You can sponsor the event and you'll be highlighted with a table and letting everybody know that you've been a sponsor to the event. And we're going to grow this, and I'm seeing this thing traveling all over the country someday, Patty, and get in on sponsorship now. But the best thing you can do is be there in person. Be there in person for yourself. Do it for yourself or for a friend that needs it, because there's nothing like being in a community of caring people.
That's right. Again, thank you all for being here. I just want to share this one more. This is what you'll get when you go to this EverMindfulLive.com. This is the screen you'll see, and you'll see that's the original logo where this is inspired from.
Right. Yep.
That's right. That's the original little inner child.
Yep.
And then easy peasy. No drama here. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. So again, thank you all for being here. Lois, any closing remarks before we shut it down?
Yeah. One of the main reasons to go to the IRL is to see Patty, because her presentation on grief recovery through legacy, and really focusing on the legacy part this year. She's got an amazing little interactive thing we're going to hopefully get her to do in the afternoon. You can go in little small groups together. I'm hoping to get more time for that, Patty, because that little ceremony you had was amazing. I felt though we were kind of rushed through it. So in the afternoon, I'm hoping to give people little opportunities to meet in small groups and do it more kind of intimately. We're working on all the details, but I'm telling you guys won't be disappointed in her presentation and all the things that we have going on.
Thank you so much. Again, follow Lois, EverMindful. Check her out on all her platforms. And till next time, we do have another pop-up show tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'm excited. Another EverMindful family and Miss You Graham family. This show is sponsored by Miss You Graham. I am the founder. Again, my name is Patricia D. Freudenberg, also known as Patty from New York, because that's where I am rooted. So what can I tell you? That's where I'm from. And till next time, you be you, boo, and have an ever mindful, beautiful day.
I'm working on the heart. There we
That's
go.
a hard one. Okay. Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Okay.